Welcome to the Doug and Commish Show. I'm Doug from the Doug and Commish Show, and I'm here with the GM of Doughboy, Jim. Jim, it's great to have you here on the show finally.
Good to be here. It's a great show, and it's a privilege to be here and with you, Doug, and discuss some of the things about the league.
Yeah, well, we're excited. We're doing our end of the show, or end of the year review, and if you've been watching, you viewers, kind of ask some questions just to kind of get, feel out the GM for his year and how he felt. So anyway, first of all, you got into the playoffs. Jim, this is the third year you've made it into the playoffs after a first-year slump. You obviously are a returning champ and somebody that everybody was going to be nervous about playing in the playoffs. So, how did you feel about your season? I know you didn't win the championship, but how did you feel about it?
Felt good about the season. It was really nice going in my division, going 6-0. But it just I couldn't score the way I would like to score. The points were a little bit low, but you know what? When I had to win, the points were there, and you made the right moves and got to where I wanted to be in the playoffs.
Good. Well, the playoffs is obviously the goal that everybody wants to get in. It just kind of shows the difference between the good teams and the average to below average teams. What would you say is your best win this season?
I think my best win, it's not any one particular win. It's probably a multiple wins. I went 6-0 in my division.
Oh, yeah.
Your
division isn't really that strong. And you can say it. The season's over.
It's not very strong.
Yeah.
My going 6-0 in my division. The
pretty much was a lock for the playoffs. Really.
I win 6 games. I'm in the playoffs.
Yeah, you're right. You're right.
And the other 3 GMs just suck.
Yeah.
It's just that simple.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. Now, what would you say was your worst loss? You had a couple really close games.
Well, some close games with my division, but I think my worst loss was against the Greatest Show.
Oh, is that the game he put up 176 on you? You thought you had it probably in the bag, didn't you?
He had late game players. Mm-hmm. I had 137 points thinking, man, I beat this guy, and he comes back and blows me out of the water.
I remember talking to you at church the next day, and you were actually leaving church and thought, I got this one, I got 137 points. And we're walking out, and we're like, Brady throws another touchdown. So,
in fact, I remember you saying as I left, I don't know, he's got some pretty easy matchups, and you were right.
So who knows? Who would you say was your biggest surprise player this year? Somebody that you didn't think was going to do much and just turned out to be the guy that you needed.
I think probably. Ray Rice was there, but I think the biggest surprise to me was Sidney Rice.
Oh, man, he was tremendous this year for you.
He just
great wide receiver.
Just came out of the blue. Brett Favre really ended up liking him.
Yep.
And so I would have to say Sidney Rice was a great surprise.
I definitely agree. Now, who would you say is your potential keeper for next year? If you're just kind of looking at your roster, you've got Alex Smith, you've got Ryan Longwell. Who would you say is your biggest? Who do you think would be your potential keeper?
I would have to probably say, right now I'm probably looking at Ray Rice.
Okay.
Baltimore loves to run the ball.
Mm-hmm.
Ray Rice is a strong back.
He's great.
And I think I would probably be leaning towards Ray to be my keeper.
Yeah, that's a tremendous pick. I think your only other option would maybe be Sidney Rice. LT's getting past his prime, but the old adage stayed true that Steven has mentioned before. If you have LT on your team, you make the playoffs. Does that worry you for next year?
No, because as he's getting older, you even saw it in his amount of carries, his time played. They just were kind of getting away from him, and I just don't see him being the strong player that he once was.
Yeah, all right. Well, we talked to the GM Chapman about who his most hated GM is.
Mm-hmm.
Who would you say is the one guy that you can't stand in the league?
You know what? This is not very hard.
Yeah.
In fact, it's pretty simple.
Yeah.
Trash is a piece of trash.
Yeah.
And he just...
Nobody really likes
I can't
him.
say enough about the stinker.
Yeah.
No pun intended. Steven, I just really can't handle the guy. Yeah. He thinks he knows everything about football. And
I'll be honest with you, doing the show with him, it becomes tough at times, but we've just basically had to have a sit down and say, I'm going to run things, you throw in your 2 cents, but I understand. Well, let's move on. What potential changes would you want to see next year? Or do you want to see any potential changes? There's been some talk about maybe realigning the divisions, or do you have any rule changes that you'd want to see?
Division change, blow that out the window.
Yeah.
I love my division
Oh, of course you
because
do.
I'll be in the playoffs again.
Yeah, no, you're right. Yep.
But as far as keeper, I like the keeper. I kind of could go with however the league votes.
Yep.
I don't mind either way we go there.
All right, now, do you see any changes to your strategy next year, or are you just going to kind of, because, we look at this, and you've never really been one to score a lot of points, but you've been able to survive on your divisional wins. Are we doing anything different with you next year? Are we seeing a different Doughboy? Or?
Yep, we're going to see a little bit different next year.
All
I'm
right.
going to try my draft a little different,
Okay.
not always just follow the ESPN.
Yeah.
I think take a couple chances,
Okay.
and we'll see. Maybe try to score a few more points and show Tom Bement that he's not the second best GM in the league.
Well, let me ask you this: are you still going to bring the old man glasses? Because that's what the world wants to know.
The old man glasses are going to stay because right now I can barely see the screen.
All right. Well, good. Well, Jim, thanks for coming by the show. We do wish you best of luck as you're getting ready for next season, and we're looking forward to seeing what your team is going to be like next season.
Thank you, Doug.
All right. We'll see you
Good
later.
show.